Damian Bartonic on behalf of Fox West Texas and the official host of MMA Monday, the only MMA show in San Angelo. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by a royalty, a champion, El Campeón, Impa Kasanganay. Impa, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, David, thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it. I like the Sean Taylor from talent back there. I like that. So I'm doing well. I appreciate you.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite football player of all time. He was actually the reason why I got into football originally.
Really, yeah, he's a dog, man. I've always been a big Miami fan and like those guys too. So it's cool to see. Cool. I like that. It's good to see that right now. That's a good. It's good. He's a dog, man. Look at my dog. We got Beacon back here tearing up a sock. So
Hey, from one dog
so
to
living
another,
life.
I can respect it. I can respect it. Yeah, I wanted you on the show today, man, for a plethora of reasons, but one in particular that really stood out to me is the fact that your professional career. Whenever we look at when it first began, whether it's your first pro fight that's on record was actually, it says, in 2019. Now, one, I want to confirm that. I don't know if that's exactly true, but I want to confirm that from you. And for two, if it is true, dude, you're already a dang champion. You've only been fighting for like less than 5 years. Like, tell me, how has this journey been like?
I mean, I'm enjoying it. I say this like every time you ask me, it's like always like living in answered prayers. I told myself I got into this and it was to be a champion. And I told my parents when I first left fighting, or when I first left accounting, I said, I'm not in the UFC in 2 years, so I'll go back and get my CPA and not look back at it. Right. So now I'm fighting full time, training, um, loving my life, and I'm really doing what I love. Sorry, my dog's over here trying to eat a piece of paper. But I'm I'm committed to it, man. I love it. Like I go about it a different way for sure. I have like my own way of doing it. There's one of my favorite athletes of all time is JB Money. He's a legend when it comes to bull riding, but he just goes about things his own way, right? And he's like, I kind of subscribe to that. I like the training, I like the aspect, nutrition, all that. But it's like when it comes down to like, let me go do my job, fight. Let me do what I love to do. I'm not here to worry about like all this extracurricular stuff and like these like specific details. I'm here to come out and do what I love, and that's kind of what I stay committed to over the past couple of years, and ever since I started. And I'm blessed, man. I enjoy the process, and but yeah, that's been my thing, man. I've stayed committed to that, and it's like I'm not here like, oh, not even the money, not even the belts. No, it's literally the love of battle, love of combat, love of what I get to do, and it's brought me here.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful way to put it. And it's something that I didn't really realize, like, how much I loved fighting until I got into the training aspect too. Before I got on TV, I was kickboxing a lot, I was sparring a lot, and I had this weird kind of thing. Well, just growing up, I was kind of afraid of violence, not necessarily of like fighting or defending myself, but like I definitely like was not comfortable with it. And that's something like through the sport I actually like learned. Now I don't know if you can relate to that, um, but I know for me that's something that kind of unlocked my love for the sport. What kind of unlocked your love for the sport?
Well, that's a good question. So when I was little, man, I've always loved warrior culture. I've always loved like stories about warriors in the Bible, of like reading about the Ottoman Empire, the Roman Empire, Genghis Khan. It didn't matter who it was, but I've always loved just ruthless, relentless battle, right? And just like listen about the warriors and their stories, samurai tales, like like the people who were respectful, but they necessarily weren't nice. And when I read those stories, it inspired me to be better, right? And that's what kind of got me into it. It was just like the passion, like the pursuit of that, to live that lifestyle. A little bit more abstract, a little bit more like I love nature. When I get back from Saudi Arabia, I'm gonna build like two gardens in the backyard. Like build it. We have a third kind of in place from the previous owners, but I want to be something where it's like just that peaceful martial arts lifestyle. I always draw inspiration from that. It's like when I pray on it, man, I always know it's my dad, my mom, like my culture being Bantu, being Congolese. Like they've always had a great history and line of warriors, and that's what's really brought me into it. And Muhammad Ali and I, we share the same birthday. So I did a project of him when I was little, and like stuff like that. Always just like I was so drawn to it, man. And that's kind of really got me where I am today.
Absolutely, I love that, and I love especially the references to the Bible because there's some like war literature in there, like in the Book of Joshua. and stuff like that. And there's a lot of inspiration you can draw from that, not in the actual act of the war per se, but more so just in the literature itself. So I think that's a very unique perspective.
What do you like from Joshua? What do you like from Joshua? That got me thinking. I love that.
Yeah. So for me, a lot of the book of Joshua, as you know, in the Old Testament, there's a lot of literature and themes in the book itself. So whenever it talks about like conquering your enemies, it is not legitimately saying like they went out and sprayed up a crowd of people. Like that's not what it's basically about. So when it comes to Joshua, I like the fact of like these are our forefathers of Christian faith, and basically for them to see God in this very unique way that was kind of counter to the culture at that time. That's something that really kind of stuck out to me about it was how a lot of times it's God's way or the highway. And while in that book there's definitely themes of that, there's also deeper meaning behind it. So that's something that kind of stuck out to me. I can go on and on about theology, man, and
that's cool. I like that. Yeah. That's one of my favorite books. Especially like Joshua 10:8. It's like, don't be afraid of anyone. Not one of them will withstand you. Like you step on their necks and put the heads of the kings on the 5 poles. I think people think the Bible is a soft, like, limb petting book. No, like I love it that it's a book that it's really about like dominating, conquering, and it's like mental, physical, spiritual. One of my favorite verses is my enemies, my enemies may surround, but God surrounds my enemies and they come to me one with at least 7 ways. Like I always love that. Like something I really draw inspiration from. And uh and focus on and becoming, like that's one of my favorite books of the Bible. I write a lot of my verses on my hand wraps. Yeah. And Joshua definitely has a lot of books. So when you said that, I was like, man, I like that. So I don't hear many people reference that, So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I trust me, you and I could have a nice discussion. I'm a big fan of, the Hebrew Bible studies and scholars from that, that study it. So yeah, I'm definitely into it for sure. But I don't know if PFL wants us to talk about that, so I guess we'll kind of switch gears a little.
That's fair enough.
Let's go ahead and talk just a couple more, man. Training at Kill Cliff FC, man. You're training with a bunch of dogs, man. Both not the one that you're in your lap right now, but there's a lot of dogs at that gym. Tell me, man, what that's like.
Yeah, man. I would say it's like in order to be an assassin, to be a killer, you have to be trained with them too, right? And like you saw what Gregory Rodriguez did, you saw what Michael Johnson did last week. You've seen like guys like Aaron Jeffrey, my guy from Texas, my roommate Landry Ward, come up. Like you should, you check him out, man. He's on his way up too for sure. Gilbert Burns, man, to get taught by Nick Lenz, Robbie Lawler, and like you get so many people, Tyrone Spong, like just guys like a room full of have so much experience and who've been through it all. It's been me. Sorry. And being here has been the place that's really helped change my life. Right. It's been the place that's like I was funny enough, like it's coming up on 4 years already being here. Or December 3rd, 2020, like before you know it'll be 4 years here. Just past 3. And I'm just like, dang, like how blessed am I, right? How blessed am I to be in a gym? Well, great trainers, great teachers, great coaches, great training partners, G. Jones, David Navarro, Henry Hooft, right? The list goes on. And like, oh, hey, I was biting me. Sorry. He just bit the heck out of my thumb. You gotta get that. And you have like a room full of so much knowledge, right? Not just knowledge, but you have a room full of so much passion. So much like so much focus and so many people with so much experience that it helps you prepare and helps you like expedite your learning process and skill development. So I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm very, very blessed. Like I don't even know how to say how grateful I am to be here, because I know that any battle that I go into, I've seen the look. I've had better training partners. I've had people in my life who really challenge me in different ways. And it's like my focus is like lead me to the wolves, I'll return leading the pack. And that's how I look at Kill Cliff. Like my focus is to lead and to represent the best that I possibly can, but you have to earn it every single day.
I mean, you're not lying. Look at the roster. You've had people like Shavkat train there, or I don't know if he still trains there.
Yeah, Shavkat too. He's in and out when he has camp and stuff like that. He's definitely a big part of the team.
Yeah,
and representation.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. You had guys like Michael Chandler, who he's had Henry Hooft in his corner for forever. It seems like, you know what I mean. Like you got absolute dogs over there. My last one for you before we head
Mm.
out. I know you got a big fight coming up next week, right? We got a lot of stuff going on. Tell me, man, when you visualize that fight, and then wrapping it up with when you visualize 2024, what do those visualizations look like?
Yeah. So, for me, it's like a put the foot on their necks, is what I say. Burn the ships and put the foot on their necks. Like, and going into uncharted waters, it's a new year, right? And it's like when I go to uncharted waters to build a warship. And whenever I go, I dominate. So, Saudi Arabia, take it day by day, enjoy each day, dominate this fight, dominate this battle, get the finish, claim the victory, move forward. And then we say in my church, like, expect the battle, expect the victory, but never expect the victory without a battle. So go to battle, claim the victory, move forward, fly back home, get back, to work through March, to the end of February through March, and then go into the season in April, and go, finish each fight, finish each fight, finish each fight. 5 fights this year, right? 5 fights, 5 finishes, 5 victories. Get 3 titles within a year. So that's how I look at it.
That's a beautiful way to put it. I think that's a beautiful way to end this one, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for the
Thanks for
time.
having me.
Hey,
Thank you.
we had a very versatile, very a very just a big discussion about a lot of topics, man. So I definitely enjoyed it. And yeah, man, you're definitely welcome anytime. Good luck next weekend, man. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless, brother.
God bless you too. Thank you so much. A nice shirt, by the way. I like it.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.